Congratulations to everyone who purchased yearlings at our sale last year. Standardbred Horse Sales Company is excited to watch your 2-year-olds train, and we wish you the best of luck at the races. We look forward to seeing more future champions. We'll see you November 2nd through the 6th in Harrisburg, as once again we will be offering 3 days of the sport's top yearlings as well as the #1 mixed sale in the industry. Don't miss it. See you in Harrisburg.
Racing by 3/4. Be Perfect BG by length. Edging out of the pocket spot. Perfect Thought poised to pounce. And Napalm to the outside. Third, 3/4 for B Perfect BG. 1:22 and 4. Into the stretch drive. B Perfect BG scoots off by 3, but now Napalm bears down on the outside second. Perfect Thought back to third on the inside is 16th out. B Perfect BG pacing strong. B Perfect BG. This is a special filly. Be Perfect BG, then Napalm, then Perfect Thought in a 3-way photo. 150 and 1. They are heads apart at 3/4. Bookie J, Signal Caller, toast of the town right there. Rock Nation's in with a shot, but he's under urging now. They're at 3/4 and 1, 24 and 4 into the stretch drive. Bookie J, Dexter Dunn needs more. It's Bookie J. Signal Caller got the cold shoulder. Here is Toast of the Town on the outside with Dead Aim and lunging late at Bookie J. Bookie J, Toast of the Town, coming at him. Bookie J holds off Toast of the Town. 124 and 3 into the stretch drive. It's Car Keys. Perfect Thought out of the pocket with Dead Aim and a head full of steam. Here comes Perfect Thought after a perfect trip and right by Car Keys and tries to counter and quicken. Then it's back to PA Perfect, a perfect trip for Perfect Thought and a big win. New Jersey Classic Final. Perfect Thought, then Car Keys.
Welcome to Harness Racing Updates 2's in Training. I'm Heather Vitale, joined by Brett Pelling, and we are at Magical Acres in New Jersey. And Brett, when I was driving over here, I just realized I really don't know the details of how you got into racing. Like most of us around here, I feel like we're born with a pitchfork in their hand. What's your story?
It's a long story. No, I was brought up in New Zealand. I was actually brought up by my grandparents and left the country at a young age and went to be with my, mother and stepfather. And he had actually already moved to America. So, that was a couple of years there in Australia taking care of the farm. And then, that was my sort of initiation to horses. And then I actually got a job working on the cargo planes back in the old Pan Am days. So, flying horses around the world, that was great. And then one time we ended up in San Francisco and I thought, you know what, I'm going to stick this out. That was it. Rest is history. Yeah.
Right, yeah, that was not the story I was expecting at all. I love it. And now, I mean, like you're saying there, yeah, I was on a cargo plane and blah, blah, blah. So you were a young guy, so teenager?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I was 18, 19 years old, and where I grew up in New Zealand too. I mean, I've told my children, I never saw a McDonald's and KFC till I was like 16. I mean, it was very rural, it was country. It was a great place to be brought up. There was no worries about crime or anything like that, and, we just living off the land and doing our thing.
So, thinking back to your younger self, just say he walks in the barn today and he sees all these horses and looks at his adult resume. What's he thinking?
It is amazing from where I came from, but a lot of people have that in life. It's just a progression, and I'm very fortunate. Lucky I've had good people around me, good clients, and I lobbed into a situation at the right time. And there's a whole bunch of factors. And the bottom line is you have a little bit of initiative. I think I have that, and grab the bull by the horns and run with it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, talking about walking through the barn, let's get some numbers here. How many horses do you have, and split them up between how many 2-year-olds and race horses?
There's 27 2-year-olds. There's 43 in total. A couple of ins and out with the older ones. I mean, there was probably 7 or 8 that we trained back from last year that didn't make it, and a couple of them still haven't really made the grade. We had a couple of mares come in. Walking on Sunshine came back to me for the series at Yonkers, which is great. So the numbers probably won't fluctuate. I mean, and interestingly, with the winter we've had, the 27 babies are all going, which I kind of have, I'm always thinking about things and what we've done and where we're headed and stuff like that. And that's been, a little surprising. I mean, we had a, tough winter and a lot of frozen tracks for a lot of days. But, I think just when you're doing it, it's just kind of switching things up all the time. And we seem to have got through it. And knock on wood, they all seem pretty sound.
Okay, well, before we check out our 2-year-olds, we're going to just kind of set the scene. We're into the second week of April now. So what we're about to see, like when you go out in your sets, we've got 4 at a time, but how fast are they going? How many trips? Give me the deal on that.
Well, one of the things I did differently this year than before is we started going, 2 trips, double headers very early. And I kind of did that because really because of the weather, just trying to find the right days and trying to catch the right situation. So normally I wouldn't start going double headers until March, but we were doing double headers back in the early part of January, but only coming back a lot of times, and sometimes it'd be 8-9 days. And it really seems to have, I like them. I mean, they're all very, very smart. Their manners are fantastic, and even the staff will come to me and says, everyone seems to be really know what they're doing. And so that was one thing I've changed, and I'm quite happy about. Like I said, going double headers, but probably only going every 6, 7, 8 days, and letting them grow, letting them, just kind of take it easy and grow. And one thing I've learned with the 2-year-olds, and, it's taken me 68 years, but they need rest. They always need rest. They just need to rest. When they're not resting, they're not growing. And you just can't lean on them. And I've sort of got this little bit of a thing now where, when the ground turns and everything does green like we are now, that's when they're kind of ready to start pushing a few buttons.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get into pacing fillies first. We've got Carminia, Hanover, Captaintreacherous out of Code 1 Hanover, $115,000 Harrisburg purchase. You own part of her.
Yeah, I had the grandmother, current Hanover, and I always thought that she was just one of the best gaited yearlings that I ever had, and it was quite early in the piece. I mean, like I say, this is a grandmother. So I've always kind of followed the family, and I like this filly. She had a nice wither on her, nice strong rear end, and she's definitely changed a lot and growing into herself. She's done very, very well.
And next up, we have Epitome Hanover. She's the Papi Rob Hanover out of Eloquent Grace, $285,000 from Harrisburg.
Yeah, that's sort of an interesting story because I was bidding on her for Mr. McDuffie, and all of a sudden I realized who I was bidding against. And I let it go, and David, David likes to have a laugh and everything, and Steve Jones was the one he was kind of bidding against, and I always thought they were great mates. And so I just went and kidded to Jonesy. Brett Biddle was there with him, and they're breeders. So obviously she's incredibly well bred, and they were buying her from the breeding side, and David was probably looking at her from the racing side, and so I just said to him, I said, hey, you know, great friends you guys are. I mean, you guys need to have a couple of chats here before the stuff all gets going. And anyway, to give them credit, they basically handed me the ticket and brought Dave in as a partner. And here we are. And she's a beautiful filly. She's really, really done well. I mean, one of the ones that's really filled out and worked it out, and she's got smarter and stronger, and like her more and more all the time.
Okay, we're going to move on to a couple homebreds now from Diamond Creek. First up is Heart, a Down by the Seaside out of LA Delight. And, well, LA Delight, great racing mare. And I think you had her baby last year, right?
Yeah, no, we had Gracious last year, who was a lovely filly. It was a captain filly. This filly, you know, knock on wood, I just kind of like her better. I mean, she's just a bit bigger, and I guess LA Delight was tiny herself. I haven't seen her, but I don't think she had much size. But this is a Seaside filly, and you know, great manners, very willing, and just a little bit bigger and stronger, but an absolute version of her sister.
All right. Yeah. Another Diamond Creek homebred. Now, this is a Sweet Lou out of Constellation. And how's Holy doing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to make picks, but you know, right from day one, she's been just great. Really has. And it was interesting too, because I think the girls at the farm there at Diamond Creek, they were, I guess she was a bit of a ratbag when she was young. And they were kind of concerned, and but from the day she came in the barn, she's been absolutely gorgeous. And she's out of a sister to LA Delight, so you know they're related and everything. But you know, I think typical Sweet Lou, where you know, her gait is fabulous. You know, we'll have to find out how much bottom she has, but everything seems to be, you know, pretty effortless and no health issues or anything. Yeah, I like her a lot.
On the human interest side, I'm sure you were here the day that Aubrey came. She's the yearling manager for Diamond Creek. She jogged Holy.
Yes.
How great is it? She had never jogged a horse ever. Has raised all these horses at Diamond Creek, and her first time sitting behind a horse was a horse she raised.
Yeah, and one that I think she was a bit wary of as well. Which, no, they've come over a couple of times and jog them and jump on them and stuff. It's great, you know. Participation from anyone is great.
Yeah. I think when you do this for a living, I don't know, sometimes people take it for granted. We can forget how magical and majestic these horses are, and then you see someone jog a horse for the first time, and their eyes light up, and it's like, yeah, man, this is it. I'm like living the dream. This is what I do for a living. Yeah. Yeah,
no, it's pretty cool. And you know, some of the girls in that, they actually ride. And I find that quite interesting, because how they handle the reins versus a riding horse versus, I don't like riding myself, so I'm watching them, and their motion of forward, back and everything is quite different to what we do. But they're horsewomen, they get it. Yeah.
All right, we're going to move to the pacing colts now. We've got Papito, who is a Dave McDuffie homebred, Papi Rob Hanover out of Sweet Rockadeo. And first foal, actually, you trained the sire and the dam. That's fun.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, and even more for David, he owned all three. So, and no, Sweet Rockadeo was a glorious filly. I mean, she was actually very, very big, and she just got a little bit hung up where she needed to be on the big track and not quite enough races for her. I mean, there was actually a stakes race at the Meadowlands. I think it was a Shady Daisy that she probably could have won. I mean, she was a very, very good filly. And, you know, she's the sister to Rockadeo, and, you know, great family. And, you know, David kept her, and this is the first foal cold out of her. And, you know, he's magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. And she had a lot of weight on him, and he doesn't. And but he's a big, strong colt. When he came in here, I mean, he was rugged as all heck, and we thought, wow, you know, this is going to be, you know, where's he headed? But he trimmed down really nice.
We're going to move on to Triple 20 now. Papi Rob Hanover out of Abbistar, $50,000 Lexington purchase, consigned by Spring Station. Actually, the original name is Papi Station. So, but this is Triple 20, a first foal.
Yeah, this is one of Trevor Ritchie and his group, and he's been a lovely colt from day one. And he's filling out nice, doing everything right. No sickness, stayed sound. He seems like he's very, very quick. And he's also quite willing. I mean, you can put him on the front and, do anything you like with him. He's a lovely horse.
Now we've got Vandros. Now this is a Pebble Beach out of Agent Q, $97,000 Lexington purchase. Breeder and consigner is Crawford Farm. Agent Q, talked about her before, and she's been a millionaire out on the racetrack. What do you like about this one?
There's not much not to like. I mean, he's a grand looking. He's big. He's black. He's very, very chill. He doesn't really give a hoot about anything, and the only time you ever kind of have any inclination is when it's time to go, and he loves to go. And he's a glorious horse, lovely horse.
Augusta National, another pacing colt, another Pebble Beach out of Square Dancer. This one is $200,000 from Harrisburg, and another one that you own part of.
Yeah, it was one of those situations where I'm looking to get home, and it was the last really nice colt that I liked, and I overpaid for him. I get that, but he's doing really well, and I really like the Pebble Beaches. I mean, they seem to have really good minds on them. They seem to be very, very good gaited. Physically, all of them seem to have a lot of depth and look the part. I think he's going to be a good sire. I really haven't found. We have 3 of them, and I haven't found anything about them I don't like.
How many owners do you have? I'm just thinking, I know you co-own some, but can you give me a number around about? It's got to be a lot.
No, not really. I mean, if I had to guess, I'm going to say 30 different people, different pieces. I like to think a few of them, a lot of them are my friends. I'm not going to say a few, but I have a good relationship with my owners. They let me do what I need to do, and I think they're more afraid of a phone call than look forward to a phone call. But that's good.
No news is good news.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, now we have a Rumble and Sway, a Sweet Lou out of Apple of My Pie, $50,000 from Harrisburg. The breeder is Princeton Farms. Consigner is Alliance Bloodstock. Now, this guy's a first foal.
Yeah, he's one of those Sweet Lou's. I mean, he's just super athletic. He's dark. He's got a little bit of white on him, and his gait and everything is phenomenal. At this point, I can't fault him. I mean, I don't know what his bottom is, but we'll find out.
So when I was watching the set, he was cutting the mile.
Yeah.
How do you decide who is going to do that and who's going to come from behind when you're taking these babies out?
I try and mix it up as much as we can, and a little different than a lot of people. I mean, I actually like mixing the sets up all the time. I don't really sort of have the same group that go together all the time, and we've been in 22 with 27 of them, and they can all do the same, go the same. I'll try to keep the fillies with the fillies, but that's not always a rule either. And I think when I'm doing my lists, I mean, we usually only do like 3 sets a day. So, 3 sets Monday, 3 Tuesday, and then we might have a couple of leftovers after that. But what I'll try and do is I'll just kind of look for, who I think will be 4 leaders or 3 leaders, put them down and add on from there. But I try not to have the same horses on the front all the time. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I was wondering how you taught versatility out there. You know what I mean? It can't be the easiest thing to do.
No, and the thing about, I've actually found that the fillies are great. I mean, they love being on the front. I mean, girls are fast learners, and they want to get on with it, and they want to get finished and go home. And the colts, I mean, they're out there just, all right, it's a problem. And so, with the colts, we're lucky we're here at Magical. We have a couple of tracks. So even with them, we try and trick them every now and then. We'll go right-handed, or we'll swap from one track to the other, or I found with the colts, when you mix their routine up, they're more likely to be more involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now we've got a history here, a Diamond Creek homebred, first foal, down by the seaside, out of balance.
Yeah, we have 6 seasides from Diamond Creek, and they've all been incredibly sensible. There's some of them are quite big, but they're filled out good. I'm very happy with them. And history, he's probably, of the colts, the more made one. He's probably the more developed of all of them when he come in. He kind of looks like a 2-year-old. Where the other ones, I think they'll definitely change as they get older.
We're actually going to finish up our list with another down by the seaside, and that's Hannibal out of Pure Country, who is an absolute legend on the racetrack. Always so much fun to see what her babies are up to. This is a half-brother to Fusion.
Yeah, no, exactly. And we had another brother there last year, and then, we still have Fusion here now. He's actually qualifying on Saturday. This colt here, he just seems to have a lot of strength, and I like him. I like his mannerisms and stuff. And one good thing about, when you're training for these breeding farms, and it's pretty cool from a trainer's point of view, training brothers and sisters is the best. And I mean, I can form an opinion, and sometimes I say to myself, just stop, because I feel my opinion is almost too strong. But when you're training brothers and sisters, I mean, it's pretty easy to turn around and say, well, you know what? I don't like that sire, or I like that sire, or, I mean, they brand them pretty well, and mothers are responsible for a lot. The fathers are responsible for a lot of things we don't want to know about.
And Hannibal, though, so big, is so beautiful. He's got these incredible markings on him and is such a sweetheart. I mean, just everything about him is, and I mean, when I say big, like you look out there, he's so much bigger than the other guys.
Yeah, no, he's a big dude, and I think Adam might be coming here next week or so. He has not seen his markings. Yeah, that's all new.
So cool.
And I've tried to, put the thinking cap on and work out how this happened, but he's all that white and that we're seeing on his neck and around his head and everything, that's new. So it's quite interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Might be, with people it can be something to do with some form of trauma or something, but I don't know. Everything with him's been pretty cool.
All right.
But he can't talk, so we don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be watching him. Hannibal, I fell in love with him the second I saw him. So I'm going to let you get back to work, but I have a question because I've not seen this before. It's after you're done doing your training trip, I saw everybody get off of the jog cart and then take off the head check and snap it onto the breast collar.
Yeah.
Give me some method behind the madness with that.
To me, it's just manners. They know that horses are smart, and once you've done that 2 or 3 times, jumped off the cart, walked up, unchecked them, checked them on, and then they know that they're going to go and walk for 3-4 minutes. I just think it makes them calm. They're nice and calm. Their manners are beautiful, and I like to think our babies do have lovely manners, and I think that's one of the things that helps them with their manners. But they just learn to we're not in a hurry. Just walk. Walking is important. You got to walk before you run, and and just keep doing it all the way through. And a lot of times when we bring them back, even when they come back at 3, I'll bring them back with no overchecks on. And they've already experienced a lot of time with no overchecks, just in our warm-ups and our warm-downs. So that's not foreign to them. And we've got a pretty good idea which ones will be okay with no checks. Yeah.
No, good.
Yeah.
So many great takeaways in this interview. I love it so much. Thank you. Thanks for your time. I really enjoyed this.
All right. See you next year.
You heard it here first. He's coming back next year, everybody. Thanks for watching.